Good evening. We'll call to order the meeting of the Auburn Common Council. We'll begin with a moment of silent meditation or reflection, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll move on to roll call. Councilman Fincham.
Here.
Councilman Braun.
Here.
Councilman Webb.
Here.
Councilwoman DeWitt.
Here.
Councilman Williams.
Here.
Councilman Bundy.
Here.
Councilwoman Prosser.
Here.
Council, in front of you, you have the minutes from the August 19th regular meeting.
Move to approve as presented.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Recognition of visitors. We have Mike Littlejohn, Todd Sadison, Denny Ketzenberger, Sarah Payne, Matt Faber, Jeff Jones, Andy Barron, Nick Kappas, and Shelley Smaltz. Welcome. Is there anyone in the public that would like to address the council? Anyone in the public that would like to address the council? Moving on, Clerk Treasurer.
Good evening. I have the current vouchers for $4,704,086.69.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the vouchers. Any discussion or questions?
I'll abstain from 96217 as my place of employment for the amount of $33.62. Also 96115 for the AIM Summit I'll be participating in with the mayor and Zach Leitner for $1,035.
Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I also have the July bank reconciliation completed and on the website for your review. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to ordinances and resolutions.
Ordinance number 2025-15, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Auburn, Indiana, authorizing the issuance of sewage works revenue bonds of the City of Auburn, Indiana, to provide funds for the acquisition, construction, and installation of certain improvements to the sewage work system of the city, the collection, segregation, and distribution of the revenues of such system, the safeguarding of the interest of the owners of such revenue bonds and other matters connected herewith, including the issuance of notes in anticipation of such bonds, and repealing any ordinances or parts thereof in conflict herewith. Summary. This ordinance calls for the Common Council of the City of Auburn, Indiana to approve the issuance of a sewer works revenue bond and notes in anticipation of such bonds for the purpose of providing funds to pay for the cost of certain additions, extensions, and improvements of the sewage works system of the city and issuing such bonds. I move that we pass ordinance number 2025-15 on first reading.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to pass ordinance 2025-15 on first reading. Any questions, discussion?
This is for the 11th Street Wilson Drive project.
Correct.
Okay. And I did read on that, but my question would be, this is like the third holding facility we've built in the city, is that correct? And is there going to be another one, or you think this is going to fit the bill, or?
So this is the last one that has been mandated based on some monitoring Is my understanding CSO 9 was the second to last one that went on online last summer. The capacity in this one is 589,000 gallons. So it's over twice the size, and this should fulfill our requirement with IDEM and the state.
Per our launch and control plan and per
I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Kevin, I'll get closer to the mic here for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, per our long-term control plan and our agreed order with the state of Indiana, this should be our last project, and meet our requirements by December 31st, 2028. So once this is built and monitored, that should be the last project for that order.
That's good. When did we start this whole thing?
25 years ago,
Okay.
somewhere around there.
Very good.
I was here, but I wasn't necessarily in charge of its beginning, but I get its end. So yeah.
Thank you.
hopefully.
Yes, unless they decide they want to do something else. So, but at this time, yes.
Good. Thank you.
Any other discussion or questions? Hearing none, I'll call for a question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Ordinance number 2025-16, an ordinance of the city of Auburn amending ordinance number 2021-17, set forth in chapter 50 of the Auburn City Code of Ordinances relating to sewer rates and charges. Summary: this ordinance amends the rates and charges associated with sanitary sewer and wastewater services for the city of Auburn, Indiana, for both customers within the city and those customers who are served by the sanitary sewer and wastewater system outside of the city. I move that we pass ordinance number 2025-16 on first reading.
Okay, well, we have a motion, a second, to pass ordinance number 2025-16 on first reading. Questions or discussion? We do have Eric Walsh from Baker Tilly here to do a high-level presentation, I believe.
Good evening. Eric Walsh, partner, Baker Tilly. Good to be back in front of you. I think at this point, we all know each other well. In your packets, Brandy had loaded both this presentation as well as the large documents, the bond ordinance that Jim went through first, and the rate ordinance, which is a little bit smaller document. I'm just going to high level summarize the project and the financing. If you go to the next page, please. This shows all the pieces of the project. I know Todd will probably go through this or be able to answer better than I can everything that makes this up. This is part of your CSO agreed order, though. You do have to complete this project by 2028. The bottom portion of this is the funding we're anticipating. So what you approved on first reading prior to this is the bond borrowing, which we're anticipating $3 million. That's what we're going to market with in October to borrow. The cash on hand existing debt service, 1.2 million. That's really just an in and an out. You're using the money you already have in reserve to basically fund the new reserve a little bit because you're borrowing a little bit more money. So it's about $100,000 higher. So ignore that for a minute. It's really just using your money that you have currently to fund the new reserve on the new bonds. And then I think most importantly, outside funding is TIF of $1 million into this project. So think of it this way: $3 million of borrowing, $1 million of TIF. Next slide. This is the anticipated interest rate. You guys have a call, or Todd, the mayor, and our team has a call tomorrow with Standard & Poor's to get the bonds rated. We'll probably know in about a week to 10 days what rating you guys will receive on these bonds. Then we'll go market the bonds and sell them in about 45 days, a little bit less. Current market interest rates would put you guys on about a 10-year borrowing just under 4%. We're always conservative in our estimates. If you issued today, you'd probably beat that number by a little bit, but who knows where we'll be in a month. But you'll get a pretty good interest rate, all things considered. One thing to notice on the far right column is you're paying interest only in the first few years, and then principal kicks in. If you go to the next slide, you'll see why that is. Your 2021 bonds roll off at that same time. So this is mitigating the rate impact. Okay. By not stacking both bonds on top of each other, you're going to have a pretty minimal rate impact to your customers to be able to do this borrowing now, finish your CSO long-term control plan and move on down the road. So really what you're adding in those first few years is about $118,000 of interest is your new cost. And then the new bonds kick in when the old bonds are fully paid off. If you go to the last slide, a lot of numbers on this, but what you're really concerned with, I'm sure, is the salmon color at the bottom. We're proposing, assuming this is the caveat, when you open bids on Thursday, bids come in close to what was estimated originally, and the bond market stays in the same ballpark that we're in currently. If both those things come together, we're anticipating a 3-phase rate increase of 2% each phase. January 1 of 26 would be first phase, January 27, January 28 for the 3 phases. 2% of an increase to an average customer. Right now, an average residential customer pays about $54. It's about $1 to $1.15 per phase increase to those customers. Again, nobody likes rate increases, but to go do a project, finish your CSO, spreading it out over 3 phases, wrapping the bonds. There's a lot of different things we're doing here. The mayor was heavily involved, as was Todd. Least rate impact possible. Get the project done today and out of the way and move on down the road. Last point I'll make, and I'm sure Mayor, you're probably going to make this point too, but the rate ordinance in front of you tonight has a 7% rate increase for each phase. So you're probably saying, well, you just told me it's 2. Why are we introducing 7? We added 5% to each phase because bids don't open until Thursday. Okay, so you're introducing tonight artificially high so we can start this process and stay on this timetable to issue bonds. As soon as we get bids, we'll come back, we'll refine the rates. If bids are good, we'll be at 2%. If bids come in a little bit higher, maybe it's 2.5% or 3%. We're aiming for 2%. But by introducing high, you can always take the rates back down on September 16th at your public hearing. So if everything goes as planned, you introduce at 7%, you adopt at 2% on the 16th, and we're done. Any questions or any other input? Any questions about the timeline? Money will be in hand for Todd to get started on the project mid to later October.
I'd like to comment that I think this is a very good plan. And all the years I've been on the council, when we've waited 4 or 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, whatever, and hit a 30% rate increase, where if you just ease it in like inflation, and then the people understand what they're paying for, and it doesn't hurt them as bad when we wait 5 or 6 years like we have in the past.
Eric, are you going to redo that sheet once we get the?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll have this sheet. You'll have an updated rate ordinance. The legal document will work with Zach. You'll have a final rate ordinance that will reflect the lower rates, and we'll give you the final impact to the average customer and some comparable data too for the
That way
public.
it's going to be easier if we get
Yep.
questioned about it, saying, well, you're only talking $1.50.
Yep. And we'll have that for available at the public hearing as well,
Okay.
if people show up to ask questions.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Ordinance number 2025-17, an ordinance authorizing the city of Auburn, Indiana to fund the taxable economic development revenue notes, series 2025, and approving and authorizing other actions in respect thereto. Summary: this ordinance authorizes the city of Auburn, Indiana to fund the taxable economic development revenue notes, series 2025, and approving and authorizing other actions respect thereto. I move that we pass ordinance number 2025-17 on first reading.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to pass ordinance 2025-17 on first reading. Any discussion or questions?
Yes. There's all kinds of letters and things with this, and different commissions, and did the redevelopment commission act on this today at noon?
We passed our portion of it today.
Okay. I didn't know that. So then the second question is, are we the next step, or is the economic development group act on this? And there's something about plan commission in here?
So the Economic Development Commission meets next week, and they have to meet before the council can do their final approval. So this is often the way, kind of helps expedite the process. Once the Economic Development Commission meets, assuming they approve everything, they will do a resolution and a project report. Then that will come. That's the draft of that is included, but then once they approve it, then council can hear it for the final reading and pass. And that Economic Development Commission meeting is a public hearing, and that is the required public hearing for this forgivable loan process.
Yeah, I read through that. That's what kind of threw me off a little bit, because if that's the only public hearing, then we vote on this today, kind of, I don't know if it slants the issue of us establishing our vote before the public hearing, but yeah, it answers my question. Sorry.
Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Moving on to reports from the mayor. We had a resignation from the BZA of Lori Samuelson. Her term was to end on December 31st, 2026. Mayor appointment to fill that spot is Sarah Payne, and she will fill the remainder of that term through December 31st, 2026. So thank you. And that's all I have under mayor reports. Council President.
Just wanted to thank the departments for a successful ACD weekend. Everything was very well done and cleaned up very quickly.
Mayor, can I, have you done your appointment for the Economic Development Commission?
We did that last meeting. I confirmed it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plan Commission.
There is nothing on the Plan Commission agenda for next Tuesday.
Okay, thank you. Committees.
Nothing for tax phase in.
Nothing for ordinance and resolution, but I have kind of been continuing to work with Troy Ackerman of the Street Department on some modifications and updates to the traffic ordinance, like adding stop signs when additions get put in and that kind of thing. So that should be coming at some point.
Finance Committee met last week. I think everybody got copies of that. If you have any questions, let us know.
Thank you. Any unfinished business to come before the council? Any new business? General good and welfare of the community? Next regular council meeting's Tuesday, September 16th, 2025 at 6 p.m.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Bundy. Okay, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Bye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
I didn't have my laptop.